Notes are everywhere, whether it's school, work, research, ideas, journals, or reminders. But not all note taking apps are equal. Today, we're comparing the three most popular and easy and free options you can use on Windows: Obsidian, Notion, and Evernote. Here we have Obsidian, this is Notion over here, and Evernote. We're going to be comparing these three. Now, each app serves a slightly different purpose, and I'll show you exactly which one suits you best. So, let's take a look at each app. First of all, let's start with Obsidian. Obsidian is a markdown based app where notes are plain text files and stored locally. You can look at a note, for example, so you have your notes, and there is just absolutely simple text over here. It is built around linked notes and a visual graph view that shows connections between ideas. This is your graph view here, and this is what shows the connections between the different notes and the ideas. Now here we have created a link. If we click here, that note is going to open up. So that is how the links are created if you add in a square brackets and then you select which note you want to create a link with. So if you click here, this note will be created, and when you click here, you will land on that note. And additionally, if you go to the graph view, you can see that note connected. So it is built around linked notes and the graph view. This is great for building a personal knowledge system. If we look at Notion, we see that it is a block-based workspace that mixes notes with databases, tables, boards, and more. So if you go over here and you open up one of your pages that you had, then what you can do here is you can add in a lot of things. You can add in these lists, and if you go down, you will see that you can add in any tables that you want. So if you select a table, you can add that in. You can also add in any image, video, code, and bookmarks, and you also have gallery view, and you can add in anything from there. You have board view, you can view your calendar, and you can even add in databases. So you'll have your notes as well as tables and multimedia along with that. It is designed not just for writing but for organizing projects, tasks, and teamwork. You can have team view or team access, and you can invite your team members here, and you all can work on a project together. Now let's look at Evernote. Evernote is one of the classic note-taking tools with a strong search engine, multimedia support, and web clipping. It is a classic note-taking tool because it supports a traditional style where you just come in and you start taking your notes, and then you can put them into whatever category that you want to put it in. So you don't have to worry about organization right at the start. You just take your notes and then it'll be organized, and that is basically the kind of traditional style that a notebook would have. But Evernote would be different from traditional in the way that it is just a digital notebook. So usually it is referred to as a digital notebook, but along with that, it does have multimedia support, which is very strong, and the search for multimedia support is also really strong. When you go to search here, you can search through the multimedia, the images, and the files. So the search takes place through that as well. And here as well, you can add in a lot of multimedia support. For example, if you go over here and you want to insert in anything, you click here, and you could add in a contents and a divider, a table, all of these things, and a checkbox, all that kind of stuff. And then you can also go down and access Google Drive as well. You can enter in any image, you can enter in file, and you can add in record option as well. So you can record any audio and add that in and use that as well. So this is how Evernote has an extensive multimedia availability as compared to the other two apps. It is also best for capturing everything from text to images to PDFs. So you can add in PDFs, save those here, drop them here, and you can use text and images as well. So again, it is best for capturing everything such as images, PDFs, and text as well. So in a nutshell, I would say that Obsidian is basically for idea linking and privacy. Notion is an all-in-one workspace, and Evernote has rich capture and powerful search. So next we're going to be talking about getting started and the ease of use that all of these three apps have. Now, with Obsidian, you just have to install and choose a vault folder. So you're just gonna install Obsidian for Windows, and then you're gonna name your vault, and you're gonna decide what folder you want to keep it in. And it's just that simple. You're gonna write in Markdown, but the text editor makes it feel familiar even if you've never used Markdown. And you own your files because they are stored on your computer. So any files here are going to be stored in your computer in a folder, and you have complete privacy and control, and you have easy access. So installing and using is pretty simple and straightforward, no confusion or complication. In order to use Notion over here, what you need to do is you need to sign up. So you can sign up using your Gmail or your email, and then you will have an account, and then you can sign into it. And then what you're going to do is you're going to open up your blank page. So you come up here and you click on create new page, and you open up your blank page, and then you can start noting down. So you can start adding text. You can add in any list, databases, or checklists like I showed you. So here, if you type in anything, this is going to be your heading. And then if you go down, you have your subheading. And in the subheading, you can add in so you have to-do list over here, and you can add in any list that you want to add in. You can also, if you click here, you can add in a database, and you can select one from here. You can add in an empty one or use a template, and you can add in any checklist. So if you go here, you can go down and you can select any checklist you want to add in. But unlike Obsidian, there is no local vault, so everything syncs to the cloud automatically. So you have cloud connection, and then you have, everything syncs to cloud automatically. And that is very convenient. That way you can access your content from anywhere. So it is different and distinct in its own way from Obsidian, and it has its own benefits and drawbacks. And here on Evernote, if you want to start using Evernote, all you have to do is create a notebook and start a note. So you are going to sign up for Evernote. You can use it on the web as well, and you can install it for Windows too. So whichever option you like, you can go for that one. And then all you have to do is create a notebook. So you go down here and you click here and you create your new notebook, and then you can give your notebook a name. Here I have the notebook that I've created already. It's called First Notebook. And then in here you can start noting down, or you can start taking your notes. So over here you can just type in any text that you want to. You can drag in any images. So if you have an image, you can drag it and drop it in here. And you can also use attachments. So attach in any files or any documents or images that you need to attach. You can do that, and you can also use a web clipper in your browser. So if you need to clip any kind of content from the web, you can do that, and you can browse it in here as well. So that can be placed here too, and you can have all kinds of content right here, right on your note for easy access. So it is easy and familiar for most users. You can just come here and you can start taking your notes. All the tools here for text editing, adding in any tables or databases is very simple and straightforward. And even if you're a beginner, you can come up here and start using it. It is that simple. So if I am to decide on an ease of use ranking for beginners, among these three apps, I would say that Evernote is the easiest out of those for ease of use. Evernote would be the easiest, and then Notion would be second, and then lastly would be Obsidian, because it has a slightly steeper learning curve. It is very easy once you know how to use it, but if it's for beginners, then on a beginner level, I would say Evernote is the easiest, then Notion, and then Obsidian would be on the third. Now let's look at note editing and organization, first of all, in Obsidian. So what we have with Obsidian is Markdown Editor, which is a plain text that you would have for any of your note. So you're going to have plain text, and that is basically the only option that you have. You have a graph view, which shows how notes connect. So if you go over here, you can see the graph view, and this is going to show how the notes are linked together, how they connect, what kind of relationship they have with one another. Then we have Obsidian is built for what kind of a relation they have. Obsidian is built for idea networks and deep thinking. So you can have an idea network with the graph view, and then you have deep thinking. So it is basically designed for deep thinking, and it's built for thinking and noting down your ideas and really just connecting deeply to your thoughts and your ideas and just basically focusing on that. So, considering all that, I would say that it is the best for research, long term thinking, writing, and knowledge systems. This is what Obsidian is basically designed for. That was kept in mind when designing it. And when someone uses it, they need to consider that these are the things that it is best for. And if that is something you want to do, then Obsidian is the best choice. If we look at note editing and organization in Notion, we see that it has a block editor, which means there's text, there are to-dos, embeds, and databases. It also has pages that can become complex documents or project dashboards. So because in the pages you can add in a lot of things that you would need, for example, tables and checklists and databases and all of that kind of stuff you can add in, that would make your page a complex document, or it could transform it completely to a project dashboard. Notion works well for structured data like tables and lists. We have seen the list view and the table view and how we can add in that to our pages, and it is really beneficial in case you want to use tables and lists a lot, or you're someone who recurringly needs to access data, structured data, and use the tables and lists. Then you definitely should go for Obsidian. And considering this review, I would say that Notion is best for project organization and for keeping your notes in one place. So it is a modern form of note taking, and you can use it to the best of its abilities if you are using it for project organization. And you can also just keep your notes in one place using the modern style by adding in all your PDFs or your images, and whatever you need to add will be taken in one place, and you can access your note right there and all things related to the note in one place. If we talk about note taking and organization with Evernote, we see that it is a notebook and tag system. So here you have your notebook, and you can add in notes to your notebook by dragging your notes, and you can add them to whichever notebook that you want to add it to. So you just come up here, you take your notes, and you see that the system is basically based on a notebook. You can put your notes in your notebook and tag. So you have these tags, and you can add tags to your notes, and that is how you can keep track of your notes and organize them. So it is basically based on notebook and tag system. Then it has a rich text editing, which means you can add in images and audios and PDFs. So right here on your note, you can add in any PDF that you want to add. You can attach it here, or you can add in any images or audios as well. So if you go down to the list of things that you can add just by going up here to insert, and you can see that you can add in any PDFs, any images, or even any links that you need to add in. It is great for quick capture and organized storage, so you can quickly capture whatever data or idea that you need to capture, and you can organize it and store it. So you have the storage here, and you can have organized storage for your notes. So considering all that, I would say that it is best for classic note archiving and retrieval. You can save your notes, you can organize them, you can archive them into different notebooks, and then you can also retrieve them later. Because the search system is excellent, you can search up any note, or you can go up to the categories that you have made, or you can look up the tags that you have inserted. And for that, what you can do is you can retrieve your notes very easily in a very quick and efficient manner. Now let's look at the pricing on these three apps. The first, we have Obsidian. So with Obsidian, what we have first is that it is a fully free for personal use. So if you're using this for any personal use, then you have a fully free access. All the core features are free. You have optional paid add-ons such as sync and publish. So if you want extras like cloud sync, then you'll have to pay for that, and you can get the paid add-ons. Otherwise, it is absolutely free for personal use. Then let's look at Notion. With Notion, you have a very generous free version, which is unlimited pages and blocks, cloud sync, and share with guests included, but advanced features are in paid plans. So if you want any of the advanced features, then you're going to have to go for the paid plans. Otherwise, you have a nice, generous free version, which includes cloud sync, and you can share with guests as well. With Evernote, you will see that it has a free tier which exists but more limited than Notion's free plans. The free version is quite limited, and you have upload limits and device restrictions, which can make it feel a little restrictive. So, the free version does not give as much easy access as the other two. But if you go for the paid versions, then you can have the access of your choice. So, Notion has the best free plan, usability overall. Obsidian is free core and offline by default, whereas Evernote is free but more limiting in storage and devices. Now let's take a look at offline and syncing options that are available in all three of these apps. So let's take a look at Obsidian first. With Obsidian, you have strong offline access. Notes are local files that you control. We have seen that these are the notes here, and this is the graph view. This is all completely offline, and access is available throughout, and the notes are local, and then your files are stored on your computer in a folder, and you have complete control and access over that. The sync option is optional via third-party cloud tools or paid Obsidian sync. So you need to pay for the syncing option, but it is still available, and you can use that in case you want to sync. Then with Notion, you have syncs across devices automatically. Offline support is improving, but still dependent on the cloud connection. So offline option is, improving, and it's dependent on cloud. So it's kind of like not available. You don't really have a good offline option with Notion. But you can sync it across all devices automatically. That is definitely supported. With Evernote, you have a good offline access even on the free tier. So if you're accessing it freely, you can make use of that. The notes do sync across devices, and it has rich offline support for the notes as well. So if it's the notes that you are concerned about and you want to sync those, then you can do that across the devices, and you have offline support as well. So the one lacking in offline support is Notion here. The other two are really excelling in the kind of offline support that they offer. Now let's look at search and findability in all three of these apps. So with Notion, you have the search area over here. From here, you can filter out or find any pages or information that you need from your workspace. So if you click here, you can type in any details that you need to find. With Notion, search works well across pages and databases. Now, it might take slightly longer on large databases. So if you have larger databases, then it's going to slow down your search as compared with any local apps. So that is something you need to consider. If you don't have any big databases, then you don't need to worry about that. But if you do, then you need to keep in mind that the search is going to be slowed down a little bit, and that is going to affect the search and findability. So we are seeing a little bit of search restriction with Notion because of the databases. Now let's look at Obsidian. So with Obsidian, if you go up here, you can search in any note that you are looking for, and you can search up any tag that you are looking for. So you can search up your notes in here. Searching would be a local search across all notes. It's going to be fast and reliable. So because the notes are local local files. So that is why you can very easily access them very quickly, and you can get fast and reliable search results. Now, the graph view, if you look here, it also helps you see relationships visually between your nodes. So this is something that is additional, which is not available in the other two apps. With Obsidian, you have the graph view through which you can view the different links or relationships present between the nodes, and it gives you a visual view of that. And with that, it does become easier to find the connections between nodes or even find your nodes if you want to have a visual kind of view in this graph view. And then if we talk about Evernote, you can search or filter out and find any notes here. This has excellent research, including inside images and PDFs, which is a big plus for mixed content. So we do know that Evernote supports multimedia, and it has a lot of multimedia. It has even audio here. So unlike the other two, you can even have audio, and you can add in PDFs and images and clips and all kinds of stuff here. And in addition to supporting multimedia, even the search area, if you want to search for anything, it will actually search through the PDFs, it will search inside the images, and it will search through the files, which is something very helpful for people who really need to access multimedia and capture it and store it and organize it and need quicker access to it, and is a really major plus. In terms of collaboration and sharing, Notion is the best for collaboration. It has real-time editing, shared pages, and teams. With Evernote, you can share notebooks and notes, but collaboration isn't as strong as Notion. And then with Obsidian, you don't really have any kind of sharing option, so it is not built for real-time team collaboration, and it is mainly for personal use. If we talk about multimedia and capture for these apps, Evernote has very strong multimedia support. It has images, PDFs, audio, web clippings, which is great for capturing content in many forms. With Notion, you can embed images, videos, files, databases, and web embeds. With Obsidian, it supports images and attachments which you can drag and drop, as I think I have shown you here. So it does support images and attachments which you can drag and drop here and attach them to the notes, but media features are less polished out of the box and rely on plugins. So if you want to use media features, then you will have to install plugins, but even with plugins, it is going to be limited and not as supportive as multimedia as Evernote and Notion. So, coming towards our big question, who should use which? If you want something which is best for personal knowledge, then you should use Obsidian, because if you like linking ideas, writing long notes, and controlling your data, then this is the best option for you. If you want something which is best for organized workspace and teams, then you want to go for Notion. You'd go for Notion if you want notes, tasks, and collaboration and databases. If you want something which is best for classic note capture and search, then you want to go for Evernote. You'll select Evernote if you want fast capture of everything from web clippings to PDFs and easy retrieval. Overall, I would say that there is no best for every situation. It depends on how you work. Obsidian is best for thinkers, researchers, and writers who want privacy and linked notes. Notion is best for project organization, team collaboration, and flexible layout. Evernote is best for capturing tons of information quickly with powerful search. So choose the app that solves your biggest note-taking problem and not just the one with the most features. Don't go for features or a long list of features or whatever is trending or hyped up these days. Don't go for anything like that. Choose the app that solves your problems and fits your style. So anything that makes your note taking easier, select that app. And once you start using it, it will become easier and your system will develop over time.